Did you know Florida is the fourth largest state? With 18 million of us. Florida was discovered in 1513 by Ponce de Leon.
Actually, he was looking for the Fountain of Youth.
He was cool. I think he was kind of tall. Maybe short. He had a hat with a big feather. He came in a boat. It was pretty big. He came all the way from Spain. That's further away than Disney World. Ponce decided to call the place La Florida for the Festival of Flowers. When he got here, he saw flowers everywhere. Pink ones, blue ones, yellow ones, really big ones with curly tips. It's not just flowers, but a whole lot of things grow here in Florida. Like oranges. Tons of oranges. We grow more oranges than anyone. We grow strawberries and grapefruit and palm trees and cows. The most important thing that would grow in Florida is us, your children.
Over 200,000 children are born in Florida every year.
We are the fountain of youth Ponce was looking for. We are the future.
When I grow up, I want to be a fireman.
I want to be a doctor. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an explorer. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher or a rock star. I want to be a violinist. I want to be an accountant. I definitely want to be a comedian. Spaghetti sauce. I want to fix teeth. I want to drive a truck. I want to be an actress. A chef and a farmer.
Computer genius.
I want to fix anything that is broken. When I grow up, I want to be the leader of Florida. I want to be your senator. I want to be your president. But there is a problem. A big problem. A third of us just aren't ready to even enter kindergarten.
30% of us third graders have trouble reading or can't read at all.
Worse than that, 61% of us 10th graders can't read very well, and some of us can't really read at all.
Hundreds of thousands of us have no health insurance.
You spend more than $20,000 to keep me in jail, while you only spend a third of that to keep me in school.
You spent $6 billion on transportation, roads, and highways.
More than $2 billion on corrections and prisons.
$600 million on juvenile justice programs.
Sadly, only 3% of Florida's budget is spent on programs for us, your children.
But studies prove, with real investments in learning programs,
especially in the early childhood years,
Florida will have fewer dropouts.
More jobs. Less crime. This is so important we started a movement, the Children's Movement of Florida. It's a way to get everybody moving in the right direction. I'm counting on you as your child, your grandchild, your future. Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. And me. And me. Invest in me. I'm worth every penny.
The Gallup organization interviewed 1,000 parents, and this is just like a one-page overview. The things that are going to be really germane to GRASP include the Common Core. And what it says is most Americans don't know about the Common Core, and those who do don't understand it. Standardized tests is certainly going to be something that we're going to be dealing with in terms of empowering our students on how to do, improve their performance and to not have anxiety about tests. Online learning in the lower left-hand corner. Of course, GRASP is a blended system, so we're going to be really interested in that. And children of illegal immigrants, English as a second language, whether they are illegal or not, is going to be an important part of GRASP and the services that we offer going forward. Here are just a few more results from that survey, and as you read down the left-hand side, these are oftentimes referred to as 21st century learning skills. And, I was very happy that they were included in this survey, because it tells us that, they are of some importance. And so you can pick out any one of those on the left-hand side, and then you'll be able to map it to our 10 learning strategies, the Common Core strategies we'll be teaching, the value system of self-organizing learning environments. And so we're going to be really at the cutting edge of these kinds of 21st century learning ideas. Now here is something that I'm going to send all of you by email. These are a series of links and to what the media is saying about the stuff we're doing. So I'm just going to very quickly just show you here on my desktop. So here it says, in South Florida, changing the core of the classroom. Here's another article. This is a fight over money for tutoring. Went down to the wire. Tutoring money actually just went away. Here's another one. Parents, do your homework first. Here's another article. Supplemental education providers are forced to diversify. So these would have been our competitors, but out of the 2,500 tutoring organizations in the United States, half have been wiped out or are having to completely change their business model. So that sort of cleared the field for GRASP. Here's a story on tutoring firms hit hard by the No Child Left Behind waivers. Here's another one. South Florida nutritionists share healthy back-to-school tips. Eventually we want to have GRASP brain food or something like that. We want to have our own healthy snacks. Here's an article that talks about back-to-school stress, how it hits parents. And of course, that's one of our important missions. This pertains to thinking of getting a tutor. These are 10 questions, that you should ask. Here's one about, actually that's irrelevant. So those, I'm very happy to say we have our first testimonials. So this was at, George, this was at your place. Can you tell us, George, about Sophia and her mother and, all that?
Absolutely. Suni has been to a couple of our 21st century parent seminars, and she met us that way. Her daughter came with her. Her daughter is a vivacious and precocious 5-year-old. Mother wants to have her work on some time management at age 5, but she's a sharp young lady who's very talented but very scattered. And part of our job is to start reining her in a little bit and understanding how school can be more effective for her.
To the point about Sophia being able to learn from the older young lady, that's one of the, I think, the wonderful features of GRASP, that we have multi-age and multi-level learning communities where a lot of cross-learning can take place. And when we do some of the group brain busters here, believe it or not, it is frequently the younger students who are quicker to solve some of the puzzles that we put on the board. It's quite remarkable. So I just wanted to point to the fact that we are multi-age, and I think that's a really cool and fulfilling situation for students. To invite parents to come into the learning area. Our logo has 3 little people at the top, and each circle represents, or one of them represents the student, one is the learning coach, and one is the parent. So we want parents to come in here and learn with their children and learn about what their children are learning.
Karina was, or is our typical student. She came in the first day with arms full of 7 books, each of them one of her subjects from school. She dropped it on the table and said, "Can you help me?" Immediately we sat down with her and took her through our mission planner to plot out what her assignments were and how we could get it done. And then we started showing her the strategies that we studied during our professional development to get her through her assignments. And she found that she was able to apply it to her math, her science, her history, her language arts. And she came back the next day and she said, you know what? I didn't spend as much time on my homework as I used to.
Jennifer, this is particularly important for you because this is what a typical site will most likely look like.
Typical site will include 300 square feet, enough room for 25 kids, 3 different age groups, 5 learning couches.
So that's about 300 square feet.
I'll say that's not my best picture, but it's my most exuberant one I've taken lately. We were thrilled that, in fact, we're moving in the right direction. And what was Gary saying? Little steps, little pieces of progress. Well, that's our first check. That's our first progress marker.
These are some kids over at the first tee. You see they were grasping nutrition. Those are avocados, and they were making guacamole dip.
This is a program that the Hopkins faculty developed in partnership with Tutor.com. By the way, congratulations to you, Gary, getting right up the decision tree there at Tutor.com. That was good work. The idea here is this. I think it's completely online, and we're going to talk with the faculty that designed this at Hopkins about utilizing this as a system for preparing coaches for the various GRASP facilities. And really, it's a book about how I think it's about a 20-hour program, maybe a little bit more, on coaching, on coaching teachers. But we'll translate this into coaching GRASP personnel.
This is the school system, and what I did here is I just copied and pasted an email debriefing. We met with the top 4 people in the Miami-Dade County school system. This will be our 6th meeting with them, and the specific outcomes were meeting. They set up a meeting with this guy David Lawrence, and as I wrote here, next step with David Lawrence is he's coming to visit us on September 16th. Also met Vic Ferrante that George alluded to. He runs all after-school programs. He came over to the first tee, loved what we're doing, and he already called the principal of Waterway School for us. Valerie met with the principal, and it seems like there's going to be a good opportunity for us there. This is the school system person who reaches out to the entire PTA. We're meeting with her next week. And this is the Waterways coach. And we got some good feedback on that our $30 per hour, per person for small group settings is very reasonable. So what that also tells us is we have to open up in like the middle market locations. We don't have to be in the most wealthy districts, but we can't be in the poorest schools either. It's going to have to be in the big middle market for our model to be able to work. So here's a video of a parent expo that we went to. So there were we got 59 people that signed up for additional information. If we can convert 10%, in other words 5 people, that would be great. Sophie is helping us with a new newsletter. This is our current sort of I wouldn't call it a newsletter, but it's just something that we send out. And what we're really striving for is this. Hey, Mitch. So this is from our temple, the Temple Judea newsletter, and so I've tasked Sophie with helping us go from what you see on the left to what you see on the right. Teach for America, you may be familiar, is a very important program in the United States. There's a very high threshold and standard to get into Teach for America, and these kids basically are the brightest of the brightest, and they are risk takers because then they go into urban settings, for a period of 2 years. And what we found in TFA is some kids love it and they stay in those areas. Other alumni get burnt out and somewhat disenchanted, and other alumni become classroom teachers. So we're having an initial discussion with Teach for America leadership, because they would be great partners to open up GRASP sites in other markets in the United States. We're focusing on New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Dallas, and we'll be talking to TFA next week. Here's the another group locally here called City Year. And George, can you just fill us in a little bit about City Year? And Coach Melissa, you went to City Year, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd like Melissa to talk about her experience, but we did this through a career fair seminar setting at a local college, met people, we're thrilled with them, and we're still starting to work with their senior staff to try to make a relationship.
Yeah, and Coach Melissa, can you just quickly fill us in on what it was like working with City Year and maybe a little bit about what they trained you on? You have to speak up a little bit louder. Wait, hold on. Let me just check the mic. Oh, okay, go ahead, Coach.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, TD is one of the partners Teach for of America. So it's just like Teach for America, just another partner. And basically what we do, we serve in an urban school, but we focus on different things. We help the teachers. We teach a small group, same just like GRASP, we teach a small group of students either in math or in language arts, and we also run an after-school program. Do you have anything else to say now?
We're basically interventionists during the day and then coaches in the afternoon. And we do, I don't know if you guys have heard about the 50 acts of greatness?
Greatness or leadership.
Or leadership. And then there's the ones for kids in elementary school, which is the 5,000 something.
No, that's high school.
That's high school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's two different things, basically trying to mentor the students, get them into the idea of becoming professional leaders and development within high school or elementary school.
Yeah, so we like the idea of City Year, a great deal, and because they're already, trained to a degree, but we think we can also, build them up to another level through our professional development. So this is our very first conversation about the Posnack JCC, which is in Hollywood, and Mitch and Jennifer. Mitch, can you tell us a little bit about what you're interested in? We already heard earlier from Jennifer.
Yeah. Hi, this is Mitch. Just got back from work. At the Posnack JCC, we are hoping to open up a franchise, a GRASP franchise with GRASP, and hoping to bring a lot of new ideas. I've been an educator for over 12 years now. 13 years, have a master's in educational leadership and curriculum development. So lots of ideas we're going to be bringing to the Posnack to help bring GRASP into every house, every school.
Thanks, Mitch. And just so you know, we recorded all this, so you'll be able to watch the broadcast in its entirety along with anyone else who's not there. Valerie, who joined you over with by you? Let me unmute you so you can answer that question.
I'm muted. This is Francine Sapdea. She is one of our new learning coaches, and I already spoke a little bit about you, Francine. Is there anything you'd like to add? Say?
I'm not sure what Valerie said, but I'm a graduate student in occupational therapy. So I come more from that perspective, but I worked with kids for many years in all types of settings, whether it's informal or formal education. So
Great.
I hope to bring some of my OT skills to the table as well.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So just to kind of continue to wrap up here, Costa del Sol is a possibility. This guy came over to the First Tee site, kind of fell in love with it. He has 100 kids in Doral at this golf course, as well as some empty space. So we might take a look at that. Valerie met with the principal of Waterways yesterday, and it was very good because Victor Ferrante from the school system had called on our behalf and kind of highly recommended us already. And so we'll have discussions either to get Waterways kids to come to the Marianne Russell JCC, or open up inside Waterways, or do both. We just need to be flexible. I hope all of you have completed the fingerprinting requirements for the Department of Children and Families. If you haven't or you need any help, just work with your site leaders to get that done. And basically, this is a requirement that the state of Florida has where it's like $40, which we will reimburse you for. You go to a location and they fingerprint you and they run you through their standard background checks, and it clears you to be able to work with children. We should be getting our computer tablets in the next 2 weeks. They look like this. For us, it's a very cool sort of innovation, because it's branded, GRASP, and we will eventually have our own content loaded on these devices. Like, for example, the coach system, that Dr. Smith was talking about. But we also have access to the web. So these tablets will come preloaded with 15 icons. And it's going to be our operational system so that in addition to, having the kids use them, this is how you're going to clock in and clock out. This is where a system called Edmodo is, which is very widely used in the educational area to share information. You'll find professional development resources there for the learning coaches. You'll find our video in case you want to show a parent. You'll find a place where they can register for GRASP. And all of that will be on the homepage, the equivalent of the homepage of our tablets. So we're having these custom made, and this will be our first version. So after you start working on it, when we're ready for version 2, we'll just continually improve. But I'm pretty sure we're about the only company that has our own version of these. So that's the tablets. And I think this is really important because people will ask the question rightly, how do you actually take the work out of homework? And so, what Henry was talking about, or what Michelle was talking about, the play and motion pillar is an obvious one, but we need to actually empower our students with specific skills that will enable them to be more successful. And many of you through the summer were trained in about 50 hours of professional development on the strategies for academic success, where these 10 skills come from. And I'm very happy to tell you that we did our first small Z inventory, student motivation and learning inventory, yesterday. I did it with Karina over at the Alper site. It took her about 25 minutes, and it's 147 statements that you can just agree or not agree apply to you as a student, and it deals with everything from do you get nervous taking tests to do you take notes, and it's just this awesome inventory on what I think are best practices if we can get children to use some of these skills. So I did the first live one of those yesterday, and I'll be scoring it tomorrow. And another innovation was Isabel is 14 years old, and she's very inward focused and shy. And so I asked her, I said, Isabel, there are a couple ways we can share this information. I can just share it with you, just confidentially one-on-one, or I can share it with your mom, just confidentially one-on-one with her, or we can share it with both of you together, you know, and what would your preference be? And she was really surprised that I just offered her and treated her, you know, as a young adult. And she said, well, why don't we at first, you know, we can go over the results. And I said, great. And then we told her mom that's what we're going to do. And she said, great. So, you know, it already had a positive effect because it empowered this 14-year-old girl to take ownership of things she may benefit from learning going forward. The other very important way we're going to take the work out of homework is called the Core 6. This is what's referred to as a meta-analysis of 40 years of best practices in learning. And these researchers came up with these 6, which are tools that are directly linked to Common Core, like, you know, section 1.204, and it's a really well laid out, you know, very easy read for professional development for all of us on how to help kids with Common Core thinking, which is going to involve more complex reasoning, more evidence-based, you know, discussions, and it's really not going to be memorizing. So I wanted to just share that with you. So that concludes the meeting. I really want to thank all of you for your time and effort and everything you've done to help get us to this point. And you know, Valerie and I are available 24/7. Coach Andre is going to be sending you an updated spreadsheet with everybody's contact information. And you know, we know that when smart people get together, good things happen, and that's what we just did. So have a great day.